No, still not. Wait.
Oh,
Is it going? Breaker, breaker. The title card and try to get.
Now we're.
Pretend like none of this happened.
Yeah. What is happening? Hello.
Test.
Hello. We had construction going on in here today. A lot of stuff got moved around.
Brain
There
construction.
might be a couple things that aren't quite sitting the way they're supposed to. Now it's gone?
What?
You guys just very quiet.
I don't get it. I don't like it.
Hello.
This
Hello,
is
hello.
a test.
There we go. Okay. Whew, we gotta turn this down a bit.
All right.
Okay, hang on. All right. Okay. Hang on.
Take two. We got with meaning.
Now you talk.
All right. Are we?
Okay, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit more.
We got MC Crime Dog on the scene to figure out the nature of our emergency.
Yes.
Good.
Better a little hot.
All right.
I'm trying to get this stuff.
Welcome to Untold Live. How's that sound? The show where we never have any technical problems, especially not on the night we were setting up 2 minutes before airtime.
It's a little echoey.
Are we going through two mics at once?
Audio's off. Okay.
We didn't even get to the line about not
shout.
having technical problems that we already had it.
All right, you shout. So it's like me. He sounds fine. I don't. Okay, hang on.
I've been told I'm fine. This is true. It's hard to live with. Is your mic not? Maybe you're just getting through.
Okay. I'm assuming that one of these cables is wrong.
How about the other mic?
Alright, did this?
Yeah.
Oh, now Tyler's crashing the stream.
Quieter on the other side that you were doing, but Nate was coming in fine. So it's
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm hearing. It sounds like my mic is bad. Sounds like a boom mic.
What about?
Off. It's this thing that I've used.
What about this one that's right next to you here? Can you use that one? On the C-stand.
Hey, how's it going? Hey, how you guys doing? How's this sound?
How's it sound, Tyler?
Does that sound the exact same?
Yep.
Are you listening?
Are you listening?
Picking up through Nate? There's no way I'm picking up from you.
I'm all the way across the room.
I'll go here.
Try speaking.
Am I talking or are you talking?
You talk.
Hey. So this is the show where we have no technical problems ever.
Okay,
we're
stop
going
talking.
to give you a glimpse. But
Stop talking. Hey, how you doing? So it says that I'm reading here. It just sounds bad and weird.
Isn't this your new accent?
My new accent is echo, yeah.
It's your Boston accent.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mess around with this. You just go ahead and talk.
All right, I will monologue for a moment. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? 'Tis east, and Juliet is the sun. Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is on the Anvil, episode 105.2. We're coming at you the second take. What are we at? Wait, did I say we're on the Anvil? The Dwarven Forge Live? I don't know where we're at. This is the show where we never have any technical problems. We take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge. We show you what we're working on. We show you some of the challenges we're facing. And particularly tonight, we're going to give you a glimpse of things to come. We're going to hang out for the next 2 hours and talk all things tabletop, mostly terrain focused. And we're not actually enjoying a frosty beverage tonight. We're enjoying water because I forgot to go out and get some cider before the show. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for bearing with our show that has no technical problems. We are going to do a giveaway at the halfway point. Feel free to remind us if we forget. It will be for a $50 gift certificate gift card, digital gift card that you can redeem from anywhere in the entire world to get yourself some finely crafted dwarven goodness. Whatever you want on the web store, including our reliquaries, which are going to be hopefully in the web store in the next couple of weeks, because that is shipping right along. If we have anybody new watching, I don't know if there's anybody new watching tonight. Welcome. There's no wrong way to watch the show. Feel free to jump in the comments, ask us questions, interact. That is why we're here. We love your feedback. We love your jokes. We love hearing about Spelljammer. No, we don't really love hearing about Spelljammer. Well, I don't, but we love having you interact and be part of it. And also, just you feel free to lurk and do whatever you want. But mostly, just be nice. We're all a bunch of nerds here together to be cool.
All right, let's try.
We also we have Chris. Is Chris back?
Let's find out. Hello.
Is the co-pilot back?
Is that sounding at all reasonable? It doesn't seem like the soundboard is currently actually being used as a controller, which is very odd.
What I would say to you is that I can hear you, and you're fine. You come in clearer, and I think you're going to be okay
project.
for the rest of the night.
Use your stage voice.
You probably don't even have to project more than you already have been at your current volume. So you're probably just going to be fine.
You guys hear? That's the voice of Tyler, Master Archivist, laying down the law. See that?
What is going on?
It seems like a thing that you're not going to be able to.
Yeah, let's
solve
just
very
ride it.
frustrating
If he said
right now.
you can hear him, that's all that matters.
I
Yeah.
know.
And we can
It
see you,
sucks.
Chris.
We'll
We
just
see
gotta
your
take more
face.
time.
That's the important thing. Look at that.
It's not making any difference.
No,
Yeah.
it's not making any difference.
I'll just go back to the other stuff then. Go ahead.
All right. So did I miss anything? I don't know if you're. I think it covered everything. We got to. I guess I didn't tell them what the sort of the main topic for tonight is. Do you want to give them tell them what they could win, Chris?
Hey, yeah, you're going to be able to.
I know what are we talking about tonight. I told them the gift card.
Yeah, you're going to be able to win a $50 gift card to the Dwarven Forge online store. Please don't have me talk as much as possible while I figure this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to tonight we're going to talk about the future. The future. What lies out in wild space. Another Spelljammer reference already. We're 2 in and it's like, I don't know how many minutes? 8 minutes. 4 of which was tech problems. So we're going to talk about the things coming up. Most notably, we're going to talk about Cities Untold, our next Kickstarter, launching January 15th at high noon Eastern Standard Daylight Mountain Central Time. And we are going to, we have some developments on that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about our newly announced board game project, Where Heroes Dare, as well as sci-fi and who knows what else. But mostly kind of looking ahead at what's out there beyond just the next couple of weeks / beyond this Kickstarter. But first we're going to go to the news, but I don't know if we're ready. Just talk, because Tyler said they could hear you.
Yeah, go ahead and do news.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
We're going into the news. It's the news. We're in the news. Chris, I know you're deep out in the field, so it may be hard to hear you. What news do we have from out there?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty rough back here behind enemy lines. They got a lot of jamming.
They've jammed your radar?
Yeah. Oh God, my radar is just all covered in jam. It's a real mess.
Strawberry?
Really not a fan. Yeah. We just got a couple things. All right, listen, agents.
What's our mission?
I need your help. I need you to check out a couple Kickstarters.
You were doing so well.
I need you to check out a couple of Kickstarters. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So, we got our friends.
The wheels. I love when the wheels come flying off the bus on the episodes every week.
You want Dwarven Forge coffee book?
Coffee book.
Coffee table book. Well, you gotta do something with those beans, right?
Yeah, make them with the coffee.
Yeah, we gotta do something.
That dwarven coffee.
Yeah, so we don't have the resources to make our own coffee table book, but our friends over at the Tremendous Tome certainly are. nice coffee table book of a bunch of dungeon builds. It's not just our stuff, but it's a good amount of our stuff. Not tremendous table, tremendous tome.
You give it your all. It's okay. Just give them the link.
Yeah.
Cool coffee table book Kickstarter. Go check it out. They've been working really hard on this thing. It's gonna be great. Hey, it's not gonna be ready for Christmas. I'm gonna say it'd be a good present for the holidays. Maybe for next holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the other thing.
For yourself.
Not quite a Kickstarter.
What? There's something beyond Kickstarter?
Yeah.
This is the Beyond section.
This is the Beyond section. We're way past beds and baths. Our friends at Broken Anvil are doing a miniature Kickstarter. If you guys need some miniatures, they do really high quality stuff. They're doing a thing through BackerKit.
So it's not Kickstarter. They're using BackerKit's doing front end crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, it's crowdfunding.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
And
they're a small company, good-hearted creators. They got themselves a Siocast system. They're jamming out high-quality minis. Good people to support.
Yeah. There's that. The other big thing, we recently...
And they relaunched. They had a stumble, so they just relaunched. So they could use. They're halfway through. They just launched today. They could use some support. It's a big bucket of miniatures. Should be cool.
You
Me?
said it.
I said it.
Yeah. What else was
the restock containers running late.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Well, I was. We recently had a new project announced. We're going to get that book, the Tremendous Tome book. I posted the link a little bit earlier in the chat. I'll repost it again. Tremendous Tome of Epic Dungeons, right there. That is in the Oh, MC Charles also worked on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also got some stuff in that book.
I love Frazzled Chris.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Where Heroes Dare. Stephen Baker.
Well, that'll be a whole segment. That can be our first segment.
Why did you put it in the news?
I don't know. I was drunk on water.
The November restock container. It's late. We don't know the exact timeline for it yet. Probably not hitting November. It hit a delay.
It's on the water somewhere. We're not sure. I think it's supposed to land around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're not happy about
so,
that. But that's throwing some stuff. That's throwing some stuff back a little bit.
Hey, but you know what? All in all, the shipping has been pretty smooth for us.
Yes.
It's like we got Reliquaries in on time. That's news.
Yeah, Reliquaries. We're over halfway through shipping the Reliquaries Kickstarter stuff, so that's exciting.
Everything's in the system at the warehouse, and they're processing them as quickly as they can. And we're doing international and domestic all at the same time. So people in New Zealand are getting their orders. Finley Shards got their orders. People are getting their stuff both here and abroad. So if you don't have yours yet, be patient. Hopefully everything will be out in the next week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And if you run into trouble, email MC Crime Dog. He'll take care of you.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so that's the main thing. I think it's basically all of it. Like that stuff's on a delay.
Well, it's moving though.
Really?
The container's on the delay.
Reliquaries, I mean the restock containers.
Yes.
That's likely a December restock now. But as we get a firmer idea, we will look into it.
If you want the breaking news, you stay tuned to this channel 24/7. We'll keep you updated. Although most of those hours a week there's nothing on, but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So should we go into our first segment? Should we do Where Heroes Dare first, or should we do?
I think we should leave. Let's go in chronological order of the way it'll be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Cities Untold. So, did anybody tune in last week? Was anybody here last week? So we had a deep dive last week, and it was manic, right? It was I was in Crazy Eddie mode. Was Crazy Eddie before your time, Chris? Remember his prices were insane. Micro Machine guy.
Yeah, I know Crazy Eddie.
Yeah, so it was like there was a lot. We were trying to pack in a lot, right? There was so much to try and talk about in 2 hours. It was a little frantic. It was overwhelming. Turns out we're not the only ones that were overwhelmed with the amount of stuff. We had a pretty serious back and forth with our friends at the factory, and they said, "Listen, man." They didn't say "man." It was like translated in a couple of languages.
Ay caramba!
Yeah, they said it's. You guys are not. This is bonkers. There's just too much in here. we are not going to be able to deliver this in a timely manner. Like, please don't go down this path. There are too many packs. There are too many pieces. There's just too much. Please, 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 for the love of Moradin, the All-Father of the Forge, please do something. So we heeded their advice because we'd like to deliver something in a timely manner. Also, we're having a hard time getting everything done and up and ready for the Kickstarter. Anyway, so we're taking evasive maneuvers. We're inverted. We're doing Cities Untold, Lowtown. So we're gonna peel off some of Hightown so we have a manageable scope to the Kickstarter, and that means you got not one but two Kickstarters for the price of like 2.5. So we're gonna do Hightown at some point. We're not entirely sure because we'll talk about as the future holds. We got a bunch of other things a brewing, but for now we're going to do Cities Untold, Lowtown. So everything holds the same except we're pulling Ashlar out of the mix, but we're still going to have we're still having all the rustic wood, scaffolding, roofs, freestanding walls, textured battle boards, cobblestones, dirt, dressing. What else did I miss? I don't know. Basically all the goodness except for all the ashlar and a bunch of that dressing. So the big, beautiful stained glass windows are going to have to wait. The temple pediment is going to have to wait. But we pulled 80 pieces out of the lineup, and we still have almost as many pieces as Wildlands. Maybe more, actually, by the time you count all the surface ledge and all the other stuff. I don't know. But it'll be a manageable amount. We'll be able to get it to you in a timely manner, present it in a timely manner, and I think the sort of all-in price point won't be as backbreaking potentially as Wildlands. Although I think there's a higher upper limit on the ceiling than Wildlands too, but we will see how that all goes. But we're going to so the two great things that this allows us to do are, one, flesh out Lowtown a little bit more. There were some things we had to cut, a couple of showpiecey things that we're going to be able to bring back by pulling a whole bunch of this Hightown stuff out. And we are also going to lean a little more heavily on the Fieldstone expansion. So we will have rustic wood as well as a little slightly more robust expansion for Fieldstone, to our original Fieldstone. So there will be some new pieces in there as well as some reprints of some of the stuff that was harder to get, and in better packs that are going to be good for you guys and good for the web store. So there'll be some more Fieldstone in the mix. So rustic wood, Fieldstone, plus the roofs and the scaffolding and the dressing and the freestanding walls and I don't know, whatever else. The ground, cool sculpted ground, cool terrain trays, thatched roof, fog, all sorts of good bits. It's still launching January 15th. Still have the same plan for the pledges, which I was trying to rapid fire explain out last week. We'll have it coming. We'll have some more clear description of that coming. But basically, we got some basic sets, some hero buildings, and some districts. You'll be able to mix and match your pledge or build your own. We still have flavors of stretch goals. Kind of still have everything that hopefully you know and love, just not Ashlar at this juncture. Do we have any questions? Did I miss anything?
I think the biggest thing to take away from this,
Yeah.
take it from the guy who sounds awful right now.
Hey, you sound great to me.
There are no pieces being lost, and actually doing it
No,
this
we're
way,
gaining pieces.
Yeah, doing it this way is actually how we can guarantee that we do get to make all the stuff that's been developed, as well as add back some things that we had been cutting.
And
Yeah.
you know, we I'm not going to promise it, but I'm saying we have intentions to. This is going to let us potentially do streets expansions. We weren't originally planning on doing expansion for our original streets, the Imperial streets. Breaking it up this way lets us potentially do an expansion of the streets in Hightown.
Yeah.
So,
for
which is really
context-
kind of exciting because they look.
Yeah, basically for context, to do this system right and pull
Yes.
off all the things, the reality of it is, to do architecture this complex, it takes a lot of stuff. And so our sculpt count was like well over what we had for Wildlands, and Wildlands was like really pushing the factory's capabilities. And it was just hitting a point where we were like, we just sacrificed too much trying to do it all at once.
Well, Tyler was going to lose his mind. QC was going to be massive. It was just going to be late. We were already going to be late before we even started. They're going to. It's just too much. So
yeah. Scaffolding. I saw people asking about scaffolding and docks. Scaffolding is staying low.
Full scaffolding.
Yeah.
There will be more scaffolding than you can shake a dagger at.
Basically, all the stuff that was made of wood, we're planning on being in there. Meanwhile, I think like the courtyard walls, that system we were talking about with those posts.
Courtyard walls are being held.
Yeah, courtyard walls are going into Hightown, but the freestanding wood walls are Lowtown. We'll be able to show like stuff more specifically as we get closer to it. Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Yes. And I'm very excited. We got through a pass on set compositions. We got a bunch of good sets. We're going to start building out pledges. We got, I think it's going to be really good, and we can actually get it up by January 15th. There's going to be some cool stuff. Like it's really, we got a couple of samples tonight of some stuff to look at.
We're going to discuss the timeline for the second Kickstarter a little bit later. We're going to kind of go in order of the stuff that's happening in 2023, because we have a lot of things happening next year.
It already feels like this year.
Yeah.
I've rolled 2023 into this year.
Between my multiple Kickstarters, basically,
we're
still planning on launching January 15th is also a thing. The same launch date. That's still our plan. Just now, instead of just being Cities Untold, this is Cities Untold Lowtown, and then we'll have Cities Untold Hightown at a later date. What else?
So it's basically, this Kickstarter is going to be even bigger because it'll be 2 now. So this one will be Lowtown, full of all the dockside darkness and the slums and the cool rickety wood and all that danger. And then when we do Hightown, that'll be your ridiculous soaring cathedrals and temples and Mages Guild and manor houses and villas and the like. So that's something
I expressed this idea last week. That was one of the things I said. I was like, some people were saying, because another thing we were talking about too was, generally speaking, the economy is a lot harder on a lot of people right now. And so the other thing we like about this is, cool, because we always say like the way to guarantee you can get your stuff is to get it in the Kickstarter.
Yep.
This means that you don't have to worry about trying to get all of the wood and all the ashlar that you want.
It was going to be a brutal. The all-in was going to be 10 grand.
Yeah, it'll make
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll make it easier to split up.
Well, and Chris, you've been monitoring the temperature on Discord and the forums or whatever, and you're like, people are limping through it a little bit right now. Like, maybe not the time to launch it. The 10 grand all in. So we will see. It's gonna be fantastic. I'm really, really, really excited about Lowtown, especially because we got to bring back some things that we were pulling out to try and do everything, and it's really neat. Michelle's working on something really cool right now that everybody's gonna want a whole bunch of. Eli's working on a showpiece. Toby's working on a thing that you can need a bunch of. Like, we got some good stuff brewing. And I don't know. I think we get to do Lowtown right and then Hightown right, and it's gonna be better for everybody. Any other big questions on?
What about the Ivy? Ivy's
in, baby. Ivy's in.
And there will probably be a couple things that it's very possible there will be some things that we do in Lowtown that will also be reprinted in Hightown.
We'll probably have some reprints pop up in the next one, depending on what makes sense. And we'll learn a lot too. We'll learn a lot from this one, so we can help make the next one even better.
Roofs to be in Lowtown? Yes, the roofs are going to be in both.
Scaffolding, roofs, freestanding walls, dressing, sculpted dirt, sculpted cobblestones, textured battle boards, wood, field stone. What else? We need a bullet pointed list. I think that's all of it. Yeah. Seawalls will be in here. Urban elevation. What else? What else we got? Yeah. Well, it's going to be fantastic. You will be basically pretty much everything we've shown thus far will be in Lowtown, with the exception of the ashlar, and we haven't actually showed any sculpted courtyard walls, so that's fine. It is good. And we should say we're still also looking at offering a few STL files, like a handful, like 6 things in STL or maybe 10 tops, as well as talking to our friends over at Galadori Games, so that if you don't want the STL, if you're like, I don't have a 3D printer, I want a physical thing, they might do a simulcast run for us, and we'll have an option to get those STL things as physical bits also. So we're trying some neat kind of stuff that would be one-off that you wouldn't necessarily use all the time. Or we're going to try that out and see what that's like. We've been dying to work with those guys for years, so it'll be fun. Wow.
I think there's anything else. Oh yeah, and on top of like the expansion, we're also looking at like this frees up the ability to the original cities and castles Kickstarters have like a lot of cool little pieces in them that were in not great configurations or
that was every pack.
Yeah. So we're also looking at reprinting a lot of those pieces that have been hard to get since that original Kickstarter.
I wouldn't say a lot, but a handful of pieces, like some key stuff that was fill out that offering.
Yes.
I don't want to give everybody like it's every single thing ever. It's like it's the key stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Dwarven Pillars, we've actually got a plan to bring those back.
Outside of this Kickstarter.
Yes.
Straight to web store.
Yes.
Special, no waiting, no nonsense. Any other questions?
Price for Low 10 all in?
Don't know yet.
Yeah.
We're still building out the packs and the pledges. My guess is that we'll have a completionist at about $4,000 that will give you everything, and then there'll be an Uber one that's like, okay, you want a lot of, like this is the ultimate toolbox, which will be more than that. I don't know. This is 6,500 or 8K or so. I don't know what it is. I got to build that. We got to mess with it and build the districts and the things, whatever. But we will see. But we're trying to make sure that there's something closer to the 4K range that gets you the whole kit and caboodle in a good way.
Yeah. Basically, we will have more information and specifics as we get closer to it. This has been like weeks of discussion. And
it was a radical shift, and we're sort of recalibrating all the stuff and whatnot. But also remember, all pledges are also going to be build your own, so you can just a la carte if you want, and you don't have to lock anything until you get to the pledge manager. So you just kind of figure out your pledge level, and then you can sort it out in the pledge manager.
Yes.
Any other key questions?
I think going over the timeline would be good. Yeah.
So the plan is we're breaking Cities Untold into 2 Kickstarters: Cities Untold Lowtown, Cities Untold Hightown. But we're not doing them back to back because we have a couple of other projects queued up. So number 1, we have this sci-fi offering that we're basically. Dev team is ready to start sculpting that as soon as pencils are down on Lowtown, which will be end of this year. We should have everything finished. So come January, they start on sci-fi. Because that's something we promised at the end of Wildlands. We said, hey, we're going to do sci-fi. So the current plan is to do roughly 20 pieces and launch it on GameFound to try that platform, see what it's like. And see how it goes, test the waters, see how people are excited about the set. I think we have something really cool, and there's a couple of really fun bits as well as some fun little tech bits, and I don't know, it's going to be pretty neat. So the current plan, once again, the caveat for everything, it could all change, right? Just as like, literally this Kickstarter had changed since last week, so all this could change. But right now the plan is to go get sci-fi jamming, and I think we could have all that done by the time the pledge manager closes for Lowtown, Cities Untold Lowtown, and then maybe launch that in like June or something, and try a small sci-fi Kickstarter or GameFounder. What do you call it? A project on GameFound? GameFound project?
Yes.
Campaign. So campaign on GameFound. See what happens, and then we have the project that was just announced this weekend. You want to talk about the announcement, Chris?
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I didn't watch it. I was playing D&D.
That's fair. I have one thing that I think might fix this. I'm going to try that real quick.
Uh-oh.
Bear with me slightly.
He's going nuts.
Give me like 30 seconds. If this doesn't work, we'll just go back to this. Hit there for now. Slide this. And then go to... Go to here. Turn that way up. Did that do anything? Is that good?
You there? You there?
That sounds good.
Did you do it?
You're telling me this sounds good? Wait. No. No. Okay, going back.
You need to be like Mace and learn sign language.
I need to be like me. Okay, this is very. I think. I'm really hoping they didn't break it. Okay. That sounded good. Now it's good. What was good?
Just don't touch it. It's gonna be hilarious.
Go back to what?
There's a beeping?
The second option. You're telling me this is good.
How's that?
You're telling me this is good? No way. Is Nate good here?
You good, Nate's bad? No, wait. That's hilarious. You messed it all up.
How bad is Nate?
They can hear you. Tyler said he can hear you.
Okay, I'll talk about this real quickly. Stephen Baker announced that we are going to be working with him on a board game.
We're working on him.
Called Where Heroes Dare. We've got a little landing page for it.
Do we have the link yet from Luca?
They didn't kick it out.
Okay.
Small little time doctor David's like, okay. Oh, if you're gonna talk, I'm gonna move back to the other thing.
We get it.
I think to fix this, I think I would have to.
You have to rewire the.
I think I would have to stop the stream and reset the soundboard.
They can hear you.
It sounds like it's not actually controlling. It sounds like, I hope they didn't completely fry the board with what was going on. If they did, whoops.
Row.
Yeah.
We get there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Stephen Baker is the designer who his big claim to fame was Hero Quest. He came in with when he was a lad working at Hasbro, and since then he did Heroescape and a whole bunch of. I mean, his resume of games is staggering, and he is just a absolutely delightful mind. He's really something to work with. So he approached us at the beginning of this year, January, because he worked at Hasbro with a longtime Dwarven Forge backer, William Collis.
No way.
And, did you figure it out?
They just straight up unplugged the soundboard.
Oh, well, that would do it. Ha!
Why?
I don't know. So, he said, listen, I've been working on something, and it's a sort of terrain-based game, and you guys are the best. You want to work on something together. And we said, hell yeah, that sounds really fun. And then we saw all the work of it, like, yeah, I guess it still sounds like fun. So it's, conceptually, we are going to launch it at Gen Con this coming August.
Hello.
Conceptually.
All right, now I'm going to reset levels. Hang on. How are we doing? Everyone's clear now? All right, now you talk. I'm going to set your levels.
All right, so we're aiming to launch at Gen Con August of 2023. We will see what happens because there's a lot of development to still happen, and we've also never done a board game before, so we'll see what happens. But if it doesn't, then maybe it'll launch at Spiel in October. If not that, then maybe it'll just launch at like Valentine's Day the following year. I don't know. We may give up on having it tied to an event at that point. But it is so. The theory is we do sci-fi, then we do Where Heroes Dare, and then we do Cities Untold Hightown. However, if the board game hits some snags, then we do sci-fi, and then Cities Untold Hightown, then Where Heroes Dare. Or if everything hits a snag, we just go right back into Cities Untold and Hightown. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But currently the plan is sci-fi, into Where Heroes Dare, into Cities Untold Hightown. We'll see what happens. So where heroes dare. So if you, first of all, hopefully you either get excited because you're like, oh, it sounds like the Misfits and or Iron Maiden. Right, you're on the right track. It is a dungeon crawler board game that is terrain-based, and we're endeavoring to give you a sort of a sandbox environment where you can explore the scene. There's some fundamental rules or physics of how the physicality works, but the idea is you're encouraged to be physical with the terrain, with the board, with the minis. Like be in there, be in it. Do a thing that you can't do digitally, right? It's got to be on the table. You have to have the stuff, and the goal is to have it be something that is quick to set up and quick to break down, and easy to learn so that you can play it with your family or your casual gamer friends, whoever, but with plenty of depth and character development and all the stuff that hardcore gamers want. Like there's plenty of stuff under the hood to dig into, but you don't need to dig in deep to just dive in and go on an adventure.
We were talking about like the general concept of game design earlier, where it's like start with like really simple rules and then let those rules get more complicated over time as you like add new stuff to it.
And just break them and, have things that break them. You think this is how it works, and then you get to this boss monster. It's like, oh yeah, wait, no, that one key rule is now broken in a terrible way. We've got to, oh no, how are we going to deal with this?
Is this more scattered terrain pieces?
So it is, so first of all, we're still deep in development, so a lot could change. Like in fact, a ton has changed in the last 3 months. And to the point where actually the rules are going back. And so it's a really fun interplay between mechanics and the physical stuff. So it's like, Steven's like, oh, I got these mechanics. And I'm like, well, it doesn't work with this physical stuff. So what if we did this sort of thing? It's like, okay, so now we have new mechanics, we'll drive this stuff. And then now this stuff is really cool. So can we get this physical thing in here to make mechanics? So it's been this sort of interplay between mechanics and the physical things. So it's all changing, but fundamentally it will be terrain-based. We are in the same scale as Dwarven Forge stuff, but there may be a different approach on the fundamental pieces because we need to hit a price point in order to get it into a box that works. So we're trying. Maybe we haven't actually made it yet, but we're thinking we're trying a different thing on floors, see what happens there, but I don't know. We'll see how it all evolves. But it'll be ideas. You'll build something with pieces and then adventure in it. It'll be campaign-based arc where you'll go on an adventure, choose your own adventure style. The choices you make in one thing will affect the next thing. Cool leveling up, really fun, engaging, heroic gameplay, miniatures on the board. It's gonna be awesome. As someone who plays a lot of board games, it's really special. Like this is gonna be, it's gonna be like nothing else. There's nothing exactly like it out there. And it'll be pretty, it'd be quick to learn and easy to learn. It won't be like, I don't know, they always set up Bard Sung or something. It's like, 30 minutes to set the damn thing up and 30 minutes to clean it up and then a 6-hour game, whatever. This will be much faster paced, and you can do a couple scenes in a sitting. One scene if you just want to do a short session, 2 scenes or 3 scenes, or whatever. If you could play all day and do 5 scenes if you want.
Yeah. He talked about it a bit on the stream, and he was saying like the biggest thing he wanted it to be like super accessible.
Yes.
And easy to like pick up and play with your kids. So, yeah.
Well, my kids already play tested the first iteration, which now has been sort of all completely changed based on a lot of stuff. But it's totally like they were obsessed. Like it's a fun thing. It's just getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what else we can say about it.
Not a ton. Well, like you said, like it's still very early in development, and like we are kind of on the back end of a lot of it is, well, like what we sculpt is going to depend on what the game ends up being. So like we can't even really, even if we wanted to, we couldn't even really tell you exactly what we're making. But the idea is that it would be stuff that you could take and then use in your like D&D games as well.
There will be there's a lot of emphasis on props, things that your players can interact with, and they will all be things that are great to put in your dungeon build or whatever.
Yeah.
There's
So-
lots of
so-
neat
yeah.
neat bits, like fun stuff, like stuff we should have made in Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's like pretty much the extent of what we can say, I guess, is like what our intention is with it. And yeah. And
well, it's supposed to be striking. It should be a thing that, you know, you bring it. You can bring it over to your friend's house and set up, and they're looking and go, oh, we're gonna go in there. Let's. This is gonna be awesome. Like, this is a dangerous death trap. Like, can we? We're gonna fight this. How are we gonna get through this thing? This is nuts.
will you bring him onto an On the Anvil in the future? Oh, I'm sure when we get close to it, we'll
yeah.
have him, because he's come here a few times to hang out and like beta test.
He's only a
things
couple
and-
hours away.
I'm sure that when we actually do like the campaign, we'll do like full demos in here with like fully produced stuff with him.
Yeah, he'll be. We'll be hyping it up like crazy. Maybe we'll even do a playthrough on the show or something. Or
Yeah.
we will figure it out. Maybe when is PAX East? March?
Yeah, it's earlier in the year.
Yeah, we may even have a playable demo. PAX East or something. I don't know. We'll see. Version 4.3 of the rules is in the works right now, which is kind of hanging everything up. So we'll see from there. But it's really, there's so much fun physicality to it. I don't know how better to explain it, but there's like a lot of like, it's, you know, as much as stuff. It's a what you see is what you expect. So it's not what you see is what you get, because just like any good D&D game, you're not always going to get what you expect, right? Sometimes there'll be surprises. But it's trying to make it as much as that it's very, you look at the board and you go, ooh, I bet, can I do that or this kind of, you know, you should have an idea of what the game plays like and what the story is like by looking at the board.
The UK Games Expo in June. Well, he does have more
Yes.
connections to like UK or at least EU cons. So maybe we'll actually do.
I would love to go to the Games Expo.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fantastic.
Even if we don't go ourselves, like it's very possible that he'll go with some stuff.
We should crash at Rabbit and Finley's house.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure they won't mind.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's basically it. We'll have more. It'll be easier to talk about it when we have more stuff to show you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it's an exciting thing. We've had it like kind of cooking for a bit.
Since January. It's been a long,
yeah.
quiet road. And he's really fun to work with. Like he has a really interesting approach to creativity and board game design. And for someone who's been doing it so long, is constantly questioning, like, you know, questioning the assumptions. Do you have to do it this way? Is there a better way? Is there another way? Is there a thing? And so
You love iteration.
yeah. Oh, I do. I know. I've already driven him to, like, he was like, I think these rules are locked. I'm like, no, man, we got like at least 5 iterations out of it, and sure enough, that was at rules 3.1, and we're at 4.3 now. It's like, I think I gotta, well, the biggest thing was, and the initial rules didn't have core terrain interactions, right? There were ways to interact with the monsters, but there was no vehicle for players to interact with the terrain. I was like, well, this is like, there's like, if we're doing all this stuff, making this thing, there's got to be ways to, you have to have core ways to interact with it and have, you know, numerical attributes. If you've got numerical attributes to just have it monsters, you got to have it for the things that you're going to encounter. Like, you need to be able to, you know, interact with that stuff in meaningful ways and have those numbers tell you that, hey, are you good at doing this sort of thing or that sort of thing, whatever. So that opened up a whole big old can of worms.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So basically,
That was Miles was like, he's like, I want to put things on the board. He's like, I want to touch and move the stuff on the board. And that keeps echoing through my head. Like, he's like, because he was like, that was it. He played it for the first time. He's like, no, I'm so frustrated because I just want to move all the stuff on the board.
Miles gets super passionate about a lot of things, but like game design, yeah.
Well, he had the
loves-
thing. He saw it like with 30. He was like, that's the thing. Like, this is this magical world. Like, I want to manipulate that thing. And he also wanted like a mechanical turret that could wander around and blast things. You know, he was like,
Yeah.
I mean, well, you
I
jumped
want
the
a
shark there.
functioning,
But
programmable.
flame-throwing miniature turret. and
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, okay, whoa, pump the brakes. But you're right about the first part. Like, you want to be able to interact with the thing. That was yeah.
Yeah. So basically, to recap, Cities Untold split into 2 Kickstarters now, so that we can basically 2 smaller campaigns, so that
quote unquote smaller. By the time it's going to
smaller
be
than
bigger,
they were going to be.
Yes.
They're still going to be rough. This one's probably going to still be roughly the
It's
size
gonna
of
be big.
Wildlands.
Well, and that gives you a sense of scale. Like if this is going to be the size of Wildlands, we had
It was
another
gonna
80
be-
pieces we were trying to do. It was absurd. It was.
Yeah.
Somebody was getting over ambitious. I don't know.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
I completely understand the factory pushing back on us. So that will still be launching January 15th. And then following that up with sci-fi. And then depending on board game development, we'll either go board game and then Cities Untold Hightown. Or if the board game needs more time, we'll do Cities Untold Hightown and then do the board game.
Yeah. I bet.
Tyler is going off in...
Is he going off? On what?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know who that was.
Where? What?
Talking about, like, going overboard.
Oh. Poor Tyler he's been trying so hard to be the grown-up in the room. Be like, maybe we have a few too many pieces, but I got nothing. We gotta go full steam ahead, Tyler, back to the archives. He's like, but there's so many, I can't. Yeah. Now I'm like, hey, Tyler, maybe we have too many pieces. He's like, you think? Yeah.
The thing I am really...
He's the best.
The thing I am really excited about going
Are you,
deeper
Tyler?
on Fieldstone with Lowtown is, like, we were just talking about all, like, the Fieldstone and Castle compatibility.
Yes.
And getting to do, like, builds where it's like, hey, we're mixing a bunch of wood with Fieldstone and Castle stuff now.
Oh, it's gonna be
It's
so
gonna
badass.
it's gonna be sick.
Yes. Yes, we're gonna be able
Yeah.
to finally do those hoardings you were dreaming of, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the best.
Yeah, and I think that's roughly...
So that's
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about? I think we spilled the. Is there anything else to talk about on Hightown? I mean, we don't really know too much yet.
I talked about that's the nice thing about this is we are like, because we are now going like, okay, how do we best round out this Lowtown offer? And we've been talking about like what Fieldstone makes sense to bring back, what like killed pieces make sense to bring back, what reconfigurations make sense to do. We have time to work out Hightown more. So Hightown will be developing now, and we can kind of give that a little bit more love. Because we're talking about, like, do we want to bring back Tudor stuff? Do we want to bring back streets? Are there other things that
Definitely
might
want
be
to
cool
do
to pair with
streets.
this?
Like
And now we have, like, a couple months to figure that stuff out.
Oh.
So
That was, and that's the fun thing too. Is there were things that were just sort of clawing at the back of my mind, like, like it really is. Like streets is something like people like streets. They look really good. There's ways to do some cool stuff with them that we haven't done. There's great opportunities here to do bits. Yeah.
Akira, it's not that the factory was wanting to churn down more money, basically. It was basically them saying, like, hey, if you ask us to do this in this way, we're not going to produce a satisfactory result. It's going to be bad for us. It's going to be bad for you.
It's gonna take a long time.
Which is actually really nice that they actually said that instead of just taking it and then letting it collapse in production.
They are, they're fantastic partners, and this is becoming more and more and more of their business. So they really, they want to do it right, and they also know how demanding and exacting we are, and are like, listen, with this, this amount of pieces, this amount of sets, this amount of specific details and millimeter precision and all this, whatever, they're like, you will not be able, like, we're going to be a year late. They're like, it's just not, it's not going to work out.
I think one fun thing to actually talk about, the nice thing about this is it helps us transition into something we've kind of wanted to do with the company for a while anyways, which is instead of just being like one huge, massive blowout Kickstarter and then just like a rush to do the next one, getting into more of being planned ahead. The fact that, like...
6 massive Kickstarters!
Yes! Having more regular releases, being able to get into the groove of doing smaller releases so that maybe we do some, like, a small, like, hey, we just want to do, like, a little bit of... We want to do a sewer remaster, for example. And so it's like...
Or a sci-fi set.
Or a sci-fi set, something like that.
Or a board game.
Yeah.
Or an Ashlar thing. Or, So it's just more sustainable. Like, it's the toll of relying on mega Kickstarters is a real thing. Like, it is hard. Like, it is we really go hard over and over again. Like so we're trying to make it go medium regularly rather than just go hard for all these things and swing for the fences every time.
Makes things easier.
Medium
Helps
hard.
us transition into being more of a store-based business and being active year-round instead of just
Yes.
A month a year, really.
Seasonally going bonkers and then burning everybody out.
Yes.
But a sustainable model is better for all.
What is the newest projection for all in for Lowtown? We don't have the numbers yet, but lower than it was going to be.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
We will tell you as soon as we have some stuff together. We will tell you, and it will probably change a little before launch, whatever. But we'll get you. We're working through it.
Since we're just doing Lowtown and most of that is simple wood, do you think painted versus unpainted price difference will be less extreme for all in?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
Good
question.
Yeah. Honestly, it's also kind of nice to be able to just worry about the wood paint scheme pricing.
Yeah. Oh, that was the thing. Jay was like,
the Ashlar paint scheme pricing by itself.
He's like trying to have those both in the same thing. Because the Ashlar paint is going to be so much higher, and the thing it's just going to be
It gives us more. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Better quality control, better production timelines, better everything.
I'm a little relieved because it's now it's only like a superhuman effort rather than like a god level effort of like. So it's good. We only have to be superhuman. It'd be great.
How's Crystal Caverns restock looking with all the production changes?
Ooh, not happening yet, but it's something that's on the radar.
Crystal Caverns in Hightown, for some reason. We'll just
amazing. The Crystal Palace of Cavern in the middle of town. It's
put this church deep underground.
Do we have any other questions about any of those bits? We covered everything on Where Heroes Dare. We covered on this. We can look at these sample builds, and I guess you have more questions on this. What else we got?
Will the paint line expand? I think for Lowtown probably not, because I think they're just using existing stuff for that. Really, the Ashlar is where we might need to make a new paint color.
We'll see. I mean, what colors are you guys hoping for? That we don't have in the lineup currently.
Well, the scaffolding is going to be Lowtown. Pretty much everything that's made of wood, and then stuff that we had planned for like docks and stuff will be Lowtown.
Scaffolding, freestanding walls, sculpted dirt, sculpted cobblestones, textured battle boards, terrain trays.
Honestly,
all the wood, the dressing, all the 8 townsfolk mini, all 8 of them will round up and come on in.
Honestly, most of the stuff that we've shown you will be in it because we had been probably making the Lowtown stuff first anyways.
Yep.
So most of the stuff you've seen will be in there.
And even some of the things like we have that bookcase that was going to be for Hightown that we'll put into Lowtown because we've got it and it's beautiful and like, you can read books in Lowtown.
People are pointing out an Underdoom purple would be good. We don't have a purple yet. You always got to like mix the Underdoom.
Yeah, it is a crime that we don't have a purple yet. I fought for it a couple times, but not very hard because I wanted to fight for things that were more important.
What epic buildings will there be, or how many? So hero buildings. You and Tyler are currently working on that.
Yeah. Don't know. Don't know yet. We'll keep you posted as it evolves. It's all theorycraft right now, and we got to start building stuff out. See what it's like. I can't wait to show it. Like we got. I'm excited to be able to just keep adding hero buildings too, and maybe give you more options in the lineup, and it's gonna be fun. We haven't even talked about the web store. Like, Letitia is masterminding an absolute a beast of a website for this. So you'll be able to browse these sets just like it's our web store with tags, so you can filter all the stuff and go through it. Like you'll be able to interface with it just like you would with a store and kind of understand the offer so much better than because the Kickstarter platform is terrible. So like we're gonna have a very robust, basically a full-fledged store for it on our website.
I don't know if we've ever said that.
With explore pages, and it's really it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a game changer. I think it's gonna make it such a better experience for everybody across the board. It's easier to understand, easier to figure out your pledge. You'll be able to save. Right now, we'll see but you'll be able to basically build your pledge and save it in the store, and then export it for the pledge manager, and or at least print it. So it saves it like you can have multiple carts. So you can be like, this is my $500 pledge, this is my $1,500 pledge, and this is my $4,000 pledge, or whatever. Or these are my 3 iterations on my $1,000 pledge, or what I could try, or whatnot. And you can save them and name them and whatnot.
Yeah. Finley, you almost got it. It's sci-fi before the board game. And then board game and Hightown might swap places depending on where the board game's dev time is. Yeah. Rabbit just got here, so he completely missed. Yeah, we're doing a board game with Stephen Baker, and we might do a UK convention with it next year.
It's so exciting. It's really it's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun as hell.
Is there anything else to cover? We'll get way more into specific. Probably at the end of this month, we'll have a lot of specifics about the backwards compatibility, the reconfigurations, the Fieldstone stuff that's being incorporated in it. Also, honestly, we're getting into the time, and this is probably how we segue into the next thing. We're getting into the time where we actually, we're getting the pieces in-house, we're shooting more, and we might hit the thing where we don't stream every week because we're busier making this stuff, and when we do stream, we're getting close to the time when every stream is about the Kickstarter, basically.
Like last week and this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this week, it's we basically just need to talk about this because this is a big change. And I'm also working on an email that's going to be going out to the whole list.
Remember all those pictures we showed you of stained glass and National? We're taking it away for now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, stained glass is pushed back because it's supposed to go with Ashlar. So
yeah.
Stained glass is going to be Hightown.
But we will have some clear window pane inserts for Lowtown, so it'll be okay. It'll be a test, a warm up to the stained glass. You'll get there. Stained glass is coming. Just hold on, it's coming. Mm-hmm. We had. We had domed stained glass roofs planned for Wildlands. We had, to go with the ruins, we had gorgeous domed stained glass roofs.
Everybody's freaking out. Yeah, you forget, ruins were supposed to be an entire biome initially. Yeah. There was a ton of ruins.
There were unruined ruins.
Yeah.
As well as the ruined ruins and a thing, and it didn't make it. But there was a really neat plan for curved stained glass roofs, which were going to be outrageous.
Someone hold Rabbit back.
Yeah, I know. It was that definitely came up during dev. We're like, oh boy, when Rabbit sees this, it's over.
I was like, why are you telling us this now?
I don't know. I'd forgotten about it. It's been a long time.
Well, if we're moving into this model, especially since quite a bit of development was done on those already.
There's pieces sculpted. There's some floors. There's some. Hadn't figured out was working on elevation stuff that hadn't quite sorted out, and there was some neat stuff. But we'll get there. We laid the foundation.
With this new thing that we're moving into, if the sci-fi and the board game Kickstarter work, and it's hey, we can launch smaller 30-piece projects and have it work well.
Well, let's see how sci-fi goes. Right? That's kind of the fun.
If sci-fi does really well, then we can go cool. We can just do small sets like this and do those on a more regular basis.
Or do 50 pieces or whatever. We'll find where the sweet spot is in terms of sort of effort and pushing it out. Why don't try straight to web store, or try pre-order, or try, I don't know. We have a bunch of things we want to try. So we're getting there. But first, January 15th, Cities of Untold Heights, Lowtown, whatever it is. We're getting it out there. I can't wait to show. We'll get some hero buildings and districts. Show you guys. Throw whatever. It'll be fun.
It seems genuinely, everybody's actually happy with this, which is good, and is what I was hoping it would be. It makes it easier. You guys are gonna have to. It'll be easier for you guys to actually get everything you want, since you won't have to choose between Hightown and Lowtown at the same time now, and. Yeah.
Well, you just have to choose more Lowtown.
Yes. You get to go harder on Lowtown and then have time to save up for Hightown.
Because here's the thing. You're really going to need $1,000 worth of scaffolding. That's the reality. Once you see, when people don't have you're I guess that's the baseline.
We were talking through, how well scaffolding and, the wooden buildings and the freestanding walls work in Wildlands.
In fact, let's look at some.
Yeah. Let's.
So you were trying to segue us there, and I
was trying to segue us there, and then we went off into which is fine. Let's start the giveaway and then get into this.
Ooh, what's our secret word? What have we said? Who's got?
Dome of Doom. The Dome.
Dome.
Everyone's just shouting Dome. Okay.
Dome.
All right, the keyword is Dome.
Dome.
If you typed Dome before I said it just now, type it again to make sure that you get in. It's for a $50 gift card for the Dwarven Forge web store. It is an international giveaway. Doesn't matter where you live. You are eligible for this. Just type in Dome. You will be entered.
2 bunnies enter.
It's not case sensitive. You can make Dome part of a sentence. You can do whatever you want. He's out of here. I don't know what he's doing.
I quit.
Do you have a sculptor? Something? What are you doing?
Just getting water.
Are you just getting water?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm parched without a
It's
without
very
a cider.
hot in here.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, now the chat's unreadable for a while, which is fine.
Good.
2 bunnies enter, 1 bunny leaves. Go rabbit. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
All right. So you were starting to segue. You had a very nice clean segue into this.
So as I said, we're getting to
smashed it.
Yeah, we're getting to the part of the Kickstarter cycle where we've got a good amount of prototypes in office, and we are able to start building things out and shooting things, and we're actually going to start shooting our first of the Kickstarter videos tomorrow. And we wanted to just kind of show you the builds we're using for that and kind of talk about it and see how you guys feel.
And you know what we were going to do, which Mace, was it Mace, Casey?
Probably.
Casey said it. She's like, you're probably going to be building these on the Anvil tonight, aren't you? Because we're going through a list of what needs to be built. And the only reason I'm not building another one tonight is we basically ran out of pieces. So
yes,
we got that.
We don't have a ton of prototypes ready, but we have enough for this video.
So what are we shooting tomorrow? We're shooting hands-on with the freestanding walls.
Yes.
Which should be fun. So Chris kind of mapped out like, hey, we should get 4 instances, and we have
basically what's
3.
everything we want to show you about how these things work.
Yeah. So for anybody that doesn't know, these are the freestanding walls are wall height walls. So the idea is that they are 1 inch and 5/8 tall and freestanding. They'll have a little tiny magnet here and a little tiny piece of metal here, so they'll help stick together and have a little stability. And the idea is you can you freestand them in and use them to build interiors. So Chris is like, all right, we need cool interior, cool exterior, and then some compatibility.
I see a rug still. Yeah, I mean the cat.
Well, once
the
you
cat's
spilled that one,
the cat's out of the rug.
As they say.
Yeah.
You know.
Any chance of ruined Lowtown sculpts?
No.
Not yet.
Although that was one of the first things that popped through my mind. I'm like, cutting all this leaves us actually a little bit of wiggle room to put a few more sculpts in. Maybe there's enough for. No, we don't. But everything in ruins is coming at some point.
Stretch goal maybe?
KS12. Everything's in ruins.
Well, how many Tudor ruin pieces do we have?
Not enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by my count. There's a little baked-in corner post. There's a little half wall. There's a full wall. There's a floor, and there's the roof.
I don't think
it
we
really
could
needs 2 more in that.
I don't think we
to
could
work.
do
It was 7.
the burned roof with a modular system, so we wouldn't have to worry about that part.
No, we could. I have some sketches. We had
Just give us more fire.
Yeah, but no. At some point we'll get to ruin.
Tyler's shouting no runes in stretch goal.
Yeah. This is dangerous to do the show with Tyler watching. I feel like we can't have as much fun.
So
he keeps us honest.
So point is, what you're looking at here is the all-in pledge.
No.
They're asking for a price check on this.
I don't know. Tyler, get on that. Price check this thing. We got 1, 2, 3. Basically, call it 3 floor packs, 1 advanced floor pack. Basically, call it 1 wall pack, 1 advanced wall pack, 1 tavern accessories pack, 1 freestanding walls pack. We have more freestanding walls, and there's some window dressing, whatever. So I don't know how, but that's a start. Let's see what that turns out at. All right. This was just a free build with what we had in the office. We weren't trying to do it with. So it's all new, all new pieces. Everything in here is, well, except for these shutters. And I don't know why I have shutters on the inside of the house, but whatever. We'll get.
Yeah, this is not. One important thing to say. This is not made up of any packs currently. This is just about showing the functionality of the pieces. These specific builds are not made up of existing compositions or packs.
This was just a free build to showcase something for this video. because the packs aren't locked yet, nor do we have prices. So I just was like, all right, we're just going to show off how the freestanding walls work. So the idea was this is a little tavern build, and we're trying to show, hey, what can you do with this interior wall system that you couldn't do with the old one that might be actually useful for building real builds and the like. So one of the fun things that I hadn't really thought about before I discovered is that these curtains that Michelle sculpted, these beautiful, I can't tell if I'm focused or not, beautiful curtains are the same height as the walls, so you can use them as part of your thing. So right, this is like the shady gnome is in the back corner with the little curtained area, and this is the shady halfling is in there with a little, will be a hinged door, freestanding wall. So we're making these kind of neat little side rooms that you wouldn't normally be able to do. And then I'm going to try to hold the camera with my left hand. Wow, this is a perfect plan. Focus. Then over here, like we have a door behind the bar, so it's just enough room for the barkeep mini. And then the same thing, the gag with the curtain wall here to have, there's like a little storeroom there. And then that also has a door because, I don't know, why not? And then there's a door here to go out to like the back door. No, not. But it was basically, it was stuff that you couldn't do easily with our existing city builder system, sort of show off potential with the freestanding walls. Oh, here's another good one too.
God, you're definitely making people car sick by doing this.
Yeah. This is the, let's see if I can pull this thing out. This one terminates in it's the pointed end of a wall. So it fits into the corner post. So that's if you want to go like right in neatly to the corner post, like yay, and do something like that.
We'll roll the giveaway after this walkthrough is done.
Yeah. All right, any questions about this or anything you want to see more closely? I'm going to put the camera down.
Are you putting it back on the mount?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like no double posts. We currently are not planning to do double corner posts.
You know why? Because it's hard to see here, but we got these. Oh wait.
I'm also gonna roll the giveaway right now.
Yeah, this lens is filthy.
Oh God, rabbit one. This
Yay,
is to make up
rabbit.
for shutting him down on the. Sorry about the ruins. Have $50.
Totally fair. Yeah.
Have you ever won before?
I don't know. You know what? He's won our hearts.
Yeah.
Which is true. Congrats. So our posts are going to have a tiny little hole that will be it's a pole accessory size hole, which will let you attach. You can put any of our existing pole accessories sideways into them, or we're going to have a new facade system. So this is this one I don't think actually has a peg yet. It's just white stick. Oh, you can't see it. Right. So we have something like this is a little corbel that has a pole accessory hole in it here. And using this system, you'll be able to, it'll have a peg on one side, so you'll be able to basically peg that on like such. So then you'll be able to put a pole accessory here. Or we'll have decorative ones. So we have a couple of different ways to sort of dress these things up. We'll also have facades that go over the front, like the ivy we showed the other week that will stick into those. But also, if you want, you can put a peg sideways, laterally through these and connect these like a double post using a lateral peg because there's holes on both sides of them. So boom, boom, boom. So that's going to essentially remove the need for double posts because you'll be able to do it with a single post if you want to get the same functionality. So that is why no double posts. Other questions? That was a good one.
Will there be a straight of that corner piece for overhang supports?
We talked about it, and it's not currently in the cards, but yeah, we're talking about like having a facade that had corbels, so you could do like the cool classic, this level's overhanging and this is holding it up and whatnot. But once again, we haven't built yet with all this stuff and whatever, so we'll see how it goes. But it was on the list for a while and then never quite made it to the final. But we will see.
Going to strengthen the build too. Yeah, that's the point of a lot of this is how do we make decorative elements that also improve stability? That's like the whole thing with facades mostly.
Yes.
Is
both stability and style.
Yeah.
What else? And these are handmade prototypes. Miles is putting the post in there, so some of these things are a little wonky and skewed. So you have to just imagine that it is all nice and factory finished and whatnot. It's sort of the same with all of our stuff, like our Kickstarters, right? Things are not clean. They're not flush. This is why we're doing Kickstarter, right? We're showing you the rough thing and say, hey, we need your help to finish it and get home. There's what other fun things? Here's a little taste of, we got felt rugs made of actual fabric that graphics team is working on, a bunch of cool designs. These are all new Townsfolk minis that'll be in it. We're gonna have.
This is almost all new stuff. It's just
all
like
new stuff.
That
only
window insert.
the lantern is old.
Lantern and then like the open windows, shutters.
The old shutters. I don't know why the shutters are there, but yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. I think I just forgot to take them out.
You're still doing the 2x2 dungeon style Tudor pieces. Not Tudor, wood.
Yeah.
And will
rustic
they be dungeon?
wood 2x2. The City Builder basics.
Yes.
Hold on. This is.
Is the number of minis cut in half, or are new low 10 minis being added?
No, we're gonna do 8. We're doing all the minis in one fell swoop. They're all living together in harmony.
Yeah. Are the tables new too?
Yep.
Yes.
Michelle special.
Love that window frame. Yeah, the window frame's real nice.
Little lattice, special lattice window frame.
All looks so good. Even what you're doing here could be enough. To be honest, looks great, gang.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think about like the size of other terrain companies like Kickstarters, and like we really do so many. It's a blessing and a curse, I think.
Mostly a curse.
Yeah.
But here's the and the idea was this is the thing you could and would build on your table and run, right? This could be a whole encounter, right here.
Yeah.
Right. You could spend a whole session talking to the various NPCs, trying to sneak a thing out of the back room, trying to do whatever. Like this is only one story. There isn't even a second story because we don't have the stairs ready yet. So.
Will we have new wall lanterns or light options? Yes.
Yes. We're gonna have one right now.
Yeah.
Only
Miles has been playing around with seeing.
Michelle sculpted a couple things, but they're on hold for Hightown.
Let's see. Would there be Lowtown monster minis?
Probably not. Right now, in Lowtown, the monsters are the townsfolk.
Honestly, yeah. It says a lot about society.
Yeah, facts.
New corner cover pieces? Do we have a new corner cover piece?
Corner cover?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
These things? The facades?
Oh, did you miss him demoing those? Kitchen session is incredible. Yeah, the kitchen's amazing.
Dude, Michelle absolutely crushed it. Just
I'm going to become the Joker. Yeah,
so
you know
good.
what? You get what you deserve. I can't say the full quote on here. It's from my favorite movie, Joker.
I never saw it. It happened in the last 10 years. Yeah.
Corner fill columns, as we see a couple poorly met corners in this build. I think that's largely. Let's see.
It's all Miles. No, there's a bunch of stuff that's not lining up because it's handmade prototypes. Like this is all slightly janky, right? We're putting the holes in the bottom for the putting the pegs in by hand. Like everything is done by hand and is not it's not factory finished. So they're not all perfect right angles and whatnot.
Will there be corner cover options like the gargoyle pillars in Dungeon of Doom? Yeah, we're gonna have.
Oh, for the inside, no.
That kind of corner cover. Okay, never mind. Can I go all in now? More easily than before, honestly.
Just you know what you do? Start a separate bank account. It's your DF account, and just start putting your money in that. And then when the Kickstarter runs, you open it up and go, wow, look how much I have in here, and just spend it all.
Will you be selling rooms without the furniture? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the idea is every pack is going to be, we're going to have a whole bunch of component packs, and you can pick and choose a la carte. And so floors will be separate from the walls and posts, and dressing will be separate, and different roof packs will be separate, and scaffolding packs will be separate. So you'll be able to kind of cherry pick out the stuff. Like if you just want dressing, you'll be able to go after that. If you just want minis, you'll be able to go after that. If you just want building pieces, you'll be able to go after that. If you just specifically want walls, you'll be able to go after that. If you want the fancy walls or the rundown walls, you'll be able to go after those. right? We have like 62 packs slated, plus surface layer options, whatever. So there's really, you're going to be able to hopefully hone in on the stuff that you're excited about and kind of sculpt a pledge for that, or get any of our pre-made hero buildings if that's what you're excited for.
Can we get a filler piece for the open side of corner posts?
Well, we hadn't slotted it in because it ranked last on the list of problems. Like, we asked people in our survey, what are your problems with the existing city builder system, and that was the thing that people ranked last. So we're like, okay, I guess we'll fix the other things first. So we hadn't currently done it. Let's see. Let's go. Should we look at slums? Any more questions on this thing, or should we look at the next one?
The peg holes do not go all the way through.
No. Well, these ones go through into each other. The ones in the corner posts.
What Lowtown building will use light panels, pucks, floor fogger? The thatch roof will use the floor fogger.
Yeah.
That's all we can say currently.
So these ones go. These ones will go essentially meet in the middle. I'm not in focus, but those holes will meet in the middle. Oh, and look at this. Miles, wait, how do they go all the way through here?
Is there going to be a cover for the exposed floor corner holes? You're looking at it, the rug.
Yeah.
We're making rugs.
There will not be covers other than rugs. But sometimes a rug is all you need.
Rug is all you need.
Just like that song.
Yeah, plugs to go down into like those little things would
It'd
be
impossible to get out.
very odd. Yeah. It would just cause a lot
There
of
will be a
problems.
stair pillar you could put over them.
How big can I make a roof? How big you want to go?
You could probably, I would make it in segments, like 12 by 4 or something, or 10 by 6 at the biggest or something, and then you can make a couple, like have a couple, like if this I would probably, if I was roofing this with a modular roof system, I would probably do it in 2 chunks. I'd have probably a chunk that covers this and a chunk that covers this. Biscuit all those together and lift them off as 2 separate units. Or if I was really ambitious, it doesn't line up so well. You could almost have like a roof that covers this part, a roof that covers this part, a roof that covers this, and you could kind of reveal the rooms as you go. But I would probably do it in 2 chunks and lift them each off separately.
We don't currently have the roofs like tooled out.
They're really close.
Yeah, they're really close. We're actually planning to have them ready like next week, so soon we'll be able to do that. But currently, we're still like white sticking roofs. We don't actually have them tooled out to like do full functionality yet.
By next week we'll have them though, because we're shooting it on film.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
So very soon we'll be able to actually like showcase those.
All right, I'm gonna fly.
Could you do a second floor with a balcony overlooking the main bar room?
Yes, you could, and we will demo that to be continued.
Especially once we have the stairs.
Using all the stairs and the biscuits and balconies, like we'll be able to. Yes, you'll be able to make a cool, and you will definitely showcase a build like that.
Will you ever see terracotta or slate in the new roof system? Not currently.
No.
Maybe in the future, but currently there's no plan for it.
The goal was to do. Originally, we were like, oh, we'll expand all the roofs and we'll do whatever, and then we got into the modular roof system. And we're like, you know what? There's actually a lot of pieces to do this one right. We'd rather just make a new system. Look at this. You can see how these the floors aren't even because they're hand poured. So there's like, there's lots of.
It's the reality of our hand cast prototypes versus the factory finish.
Yes,
Yeah.
These are made with love by hand, painstakingly. We were looking at expanding out each of the other roofs, but it just ended up being too many pieces, and we figured we can do so much with the modular roofs system that we're going to just stick with that for now. And there'll be a thatched roof also in Lowtown, and we'll see what Hightown holds. Okay, so
Merc,
then
we want to keep some surprises, so we're not going to say too much about big show pieces yet.
What big show pieces?
Oh, he's starting to ask about all the big buildings, windmills and water wheels and a bunch of stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to speak
I will
on
confirm
that
that there are no windmills and water wheels.
Yeah.
So this was, Chris was like, well, you got to show an interior and an exterior. So this is an exterior.
Yeah, we actually really love.
Oh.
Initially, we were just thinking about. We were calling these interior walls, then we changed them to freestanding walls because we realized they actually work really well as exteriors as well. Like shanty towns, like having these just like wood fences and barricades. Like this looks good.
Well, this was at going to for Gen Con. As we were building out the Gen Con build, I was like, you know what? I got all these walls. We didn't have much. We had a ton of these walls. It was one of the first things we'd cast. So we started building those fences. I was like, wait, we can't call these interior walls anymore. They're like, we use them everywhere. Like, why do we want it? We don't want to limit people, tell them what they can't do. So this was a pass at doing like a slum, like a little slum yard area, right, with lots of, and I ran out of doors. So you have to imagine there's a door in that one, there's a door in this one, there's a door in this one, and there's a door in this one. So all the doors are using the other one. We'll have some for tomorrow. So we got the port is there, but no door in the port. The idea is like lots of little alleyway, little yards and whatnot, so you could have a fun ambush, or you're chasing somebody through it, or whatever. I don't know. It's not quite as conducive. It needs probably a little more breathing room. I was trying to do it all in one terrain tray.
Yeah.
It wants a little more breathing room.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it simple for this video is basically just a hands-on video of like this is how these walls work. So we're trying to keep it pretty simple.
But you can make this really wonderfully irregular, right? Everything's just not this perfect like square. It's much more like Slumdog Millionaire, right? Or just sort of haphazard, willy-nilly stuff is kind of every which way, right? So I purposely am trying to knock stuff off the grid in a fun way, so that it feels really organic. And of course, you could just do everything super rigid right on the grid if you want, but because they're freestanding, you can have this one at a funnier angle from this, and that, cock everything a little askew, make it run down. We'll get some. We have a boarded up window that'll insert that'll cover this guy up, and one over here, so we'll get hopefully feel real slummy.
Yeah, a couple people have pointed out that this would be really good for wargame and skirmish builds, and yeah.
Yes.
It's a really good way to like put a bunch of cover around. There will be magnets under these freestanding walls as well, so they will
stick right to the
they will magnetize to terrain trays.
Working doors. Yeah, if you did this on if you did a 2x2 of this and opened it up a little more so there was a little more breathing room, you could do a really fun skirmish thing with a whole bunch of these fences and then buildings. It'll be really fun cover breaking and
somebody's pointing out like favelas and like if in video games whenever they have like a favela map where literally running along the rooftop runs and then also like really narrow alleyways, you'll be able to do that with the pieces in the set, which I'm very excited about.
Wait till we get onto the roofs with the scaffolding. You're gonna lose your mind.
Once we have fully functioning scaffolding and roofs in here, it really breaks this thing open, and we'll let us show you all the stuff we've been talking about.
Imagine this with then also little platforms on the roofs and bridge swinging across, and it's gonna be full on bonkers.
Fulcry Wolf, we can't really take the terrain trays over the 12x12 that we make them in, or they start getting kind of floppy and wobbly. They get less stable if we make them larger than that.
Like floppy rabbit ears.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with rabbit ears.
No.
Yeah.
Not a shot at you, rabbit.
Is there a piece you can put a mini on top of the freestanding walls, like the assassin's perch on the roofs?
Yes. Hard yes. And you can use it to connect other stuff, and yeah, we're gonna have playable roofs, all caps.
Imagine using those rugs as like a clothesline on the scaffolding. That could be fun. You could just hang them from the. Yeah.
100%. Sold.
Have I missed anything?
I'm doing a manual QVC turntable. It's really.
Some versions of these walls are really awesome for making odd interior spaces. The ones from castles, etc.
Yes. You'll be able to put these walls in castles, in dungeons, in your caves, in anywhere, in the sewers, they're going to be, once again, toolbox set, right? We're offering lots of toolboxes, right? Just a bunch of open-ended sets that you can do who knows what with. It's going to be lively.
Can you talk about what CBS backwards compatible stuff is in the plan?
Well, all of it. I mean, these interior walls are designed explicitly to solve these freestanding walls are designed to solve the interior building for all CBS buildings. We're going to expand Fieldstone, so there'll be some new stuff there that'll open up some more Fieldstone possibilities for you. This modular roof system, fully backwards compatible. Like you can use it to roof up all of your original City Builder stuff. All the dressing is backwards compatible. Sculpted ground cover, backwards compatible. And the wood stuff, you can use the wood with your Tudor also. The wood and Tudor play very nicely together. So for instance, we're going to have a nice wood corner post, which you could use in your Tudor buildings to give them a different look. You could do ground floor wood, second story Tudor. Lots of fun stuff back and forth. We'll have a chimney for the new roofs, which you can use with your old roofs. All the sort of any of the magnetic accessories for the new roofs go with the old roofs. Any of the magnetic wall accessories go with your old magnetic walls. Wall-mounted LED goes with your LED walls. What else?
Can we see a Tudor room with the freestanding walls inside? That might be a little bit out of the scope of tonight. We're definitely going to have them in the Kickstarter. We're going to like show what that looks like.
Yes.
But might be out of the scope for tonight, though.
How about we show it to you in some Wildlands stuff?
Oh yeah, Wildlands.
Oh wait, was there any other questions about the slums?
Are you going to keep the detailed painting guides too? I like to finish on. Yeah, we're going to have painting guides for everything.
Yeah. Those have been popular, and we're having fun doing them.
Freestanding LED walls and freestanding magnetic walls?
No, but
Not
we did think
currently.
about it, but we did not. And the theory was sort of like, well, you can use the existing. It was going to be really hard to get a LED in there, and we figured you could use the existing, build it around existing LED or magnetic walls, and use this as the.
They're thin enough that the engineering is a little difficult.
Yeah. We could have done it with like a built-in
Does the
crate.
hanging moss drape over those walls?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
It's wide enough? Cool.
Oh yeah, in a big way.
Interior wooden walls in a stone building is quite common for separating rooms? Yes. Will the paint scheme of the stone expansion be strictly the new paint scheme, or will legacy coloring be taken into account? I assume most people have OG stone pieces in practice.
For coloring for what?
You know how like the stone paint changed slightly? Field stone?
It's going to be in the newer paint scheme.
The reason it's newer, not older, is because they couldn't do the older. Let's see.
All right.
But yeah, we're gonna have very thorough paint guides. Consider putting slightly larger gaps between the planks to make it read a little more interesting from a distance. I think on those, the problem is if we put gaps in it, I think it makes the sculpts a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
If we have
I'm
holes.
stuck to the floor. Oh, I'm stuck to the table. I mean, Battleboard was a terrible idea. The little rubber feet are sticking to the.
Everybody's already saying, "Wow, it's a freaking mine." Yeah, baby.
All right.
Let's get this centered.
So this is, and I was putting a little light here, so it gets lively through the.
This is
mine.
only
Danger
a little
in the
bit.
mine.
This is only a little bit of the stuff that. This isn't even having the scaffolding to add to it.
Yeah, this was just an example of the freestanding walls in a mining encampment, right? So it was trying to like. Chris is like, well, put them in the woods. It'll be like a really neat place to have like a lodge in the woods. It's like fortified things around. And I started doing it and realized like the wood, it was the same color as the trees and whatever, was kind of doing the same gag in the sun. So we tried something where they'd pop. So do something on the gray stone, little it's a Wyverstone mine, and this could be. A mining encampment, or maybe the goblins came and took it over, or the gnolls raided the mining encampment and now fortified it or whatever. So, got like you sort of the main entry area is sort of blocked off. You got the door going through there, and the wyvern skulls as warning. I put this little the trap from Caverns Deep here as like I thought maybe like that was the goblins had set up whatever. So if you get through the door, and it felt like it kind of made the whole thing look more rough and crude. And then here's a fun one too. We have the hoist pull accessory that we're doing in cities. Oh, if I can get it off with one hand because it's a prototype, maybe. Yep. So this guy that then works in the little jumpy stone from Wildlands has that little pull accessory hole there. So this seemed like a really neat little place you could use to get things up. Once again, this is a sort of tool. Like this piece is going to pop up. You're going to put it in the dungeon. You're going to put it in the cave. You're going to put it all over the place. Like that thing is. Another Michelle special, and same thing. We're sort of using the same pieces of scatter dressing from the streets now, just kind of make this thing feel like a quarry, and just building the walls, freestanding walls around at little funny, slight little angles to make it feel kind of organic. Taking the concave, right, and just putting the, this would have a door, but I ran out of doors, right, so there's, he's kind of blocked off the mine entrance, and just trying to make it, once again, feel like this is going to be a fun little encounter, right? This is where you have to fight the bandits at the thing, or save the miners, or whatever the beast is breaking out or whatnot. But showing you, trying to illustrate, hey, you can use these walls all over the place, right? They're not just for the city. It lets you do a variety of things. I'm sure you guys will come up with more thoughts.
I think the nicest thing too is these are going to be one of the easier buy-ins as well.
Yes.
These are fairly cheap to make and they're so flexible. And even if you just have these and like some mats or terrain trays, it's a very cheap way to be able to like throw up basic room designs for encounters.
Well, that's what I was saying with Chris right before this, where I was like, man, that slum build was so fast. I was just like put 3 square buildings down and then just put these put fences in between, and it was suddenly a quick build. Like it's going to be an easy way if you want to do a random encounter or a thing, or just build out a couple of quick rooms. It should be kind of a fast, fun way to build rooms. What did you say? It was kind of the antithesis of the fiddliness of cities.
It's a counterpoint to like the buildings themselves, just because of the whole corner post wall system. Like they just take time to set up, so it's nice to have something that is like a very quick, just put it down and build in the Kickstarter. You know, a lot of people are also pointing out this is another really good like skirmish like build.
Yeah,
like
it would be better 2x2 of this, right? The same sort of thing with a little more breathing room, right? You could open this up a little more, like do the whole thing with little breathing room. You could definitely, but the idea of like a little bit of elevation, some walls to block your line of sight and your movement, and some nice fun raised areas for combat and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. Like this stuff looks good out in the wilds. Like that was the fun, right? Is it just you could put it anywhere. Other questions? What do people got?
Mostly people are just really excited about this. Jeffrey's saying that we should definitely get the Wildlands stuff in stock because people are going to want to do this once they see it. And I think that's the plan. Yeah, we're trying to get Wildlands orders through, and get that stuff back in stock. Yep. Like, don't worry, we definitely want that stuff.
Well, we also kind of have Wildlands on the brain because that was the last Kickstarter. So hopefully, a lot of backers from Cities Untold will be people that back Wildlands and be like, hey, wait a second, I already have all those pieces. Like, I can do that. If I get one wall set, I can do that. Like, cool. This is for me. And you can. Like, this is not that many pieces.
This wall system will be great for board game builds too. Yeah, I heard of. Oh God, is it a Elder Scrolls board game thing where it has like walls that? I think it's Elder Scrolls. It might be something else. There was something that we saw at Adepticon that was like a board game style build, and it was just like putting up like thin walls basically.
Fun.
And it's like this is so good to just like Zombicide. It works really well with. Works really well with Black. Like these will be great for Black Plague. We were actually talking about doing Zombicide, like a Zombicide sample build with this, a couple days ago. Could you clarify anything about the Fieldstone plan in CU Lowtown? We'll be more specific about it later. We're still figuring out a lot of it, but the plan is basically how many of those floors and stuff do we need to do to like make it like really robust and functional? It's not going to be nearly as big as the other ones.
Remaster a 4x4, a 2x4, and a 2x2 floor. We never had a 2x2 before, right? So we have
it'll be a
floors with the biscuit holes in them. Remaster regular and tall corner posts with the side holes in them. Do a reprint run of LED wall, magnetic wall, arrow slit wall, double door wall, Abbey window wall. Sort of the harder to get kind of cool walls, so you can spruce up your collection
and get them into compositions and packs
that make sense.
That we can actually keep in the store pretty often as well.
Get a we have the new cool arch wall, do a little narrow window wall, and that kind of fills it out. But basically all the basics you need to add to your existing collection with some new options, or if you don't have it, it's a good way to buy in, whatever, and get the new functionality of being able to put stuff in with the biscuits and the put some facades on if you want. Put the ivy up the side of your building. That sort of a thing. But it doesn't invalidate. The important thing is, by doing like remastered floors and corner posts, it doesn't invalidate the ones that you have and that you've used for years, right? Those are still great. You can still build with them. There's nothing wrong with using those. This is now if you want to do some wild second story shenanigans and attach a scaffolding to the side of your thing or whatever, or cantilever stuff out, whatever. Now you have that option. You have new floors you can get to do that, but you can still use all of your old stuff the same way you did. You can use them, you can interchange them, right? Have the other stuff as a base level or the other stuff in the back of the thing and just use the new ones for the weird shapes or the hanging off or putting on a balcony or whatnot. That's the idea.
Uh,
So LumaCube.
Tyler's also answering a lot of questions, which is nice.
He's good that way.
Let's see. New biscuit system is additive. Yeah, and I think one thing to keep in mind too is like the nature is like the floors with biscuit holes are just more expensive to produce. So the original floors will still be a cheaper way to get buildings and all that as well.
We'll still have the cool Fieldstone City Core set's going to stay around. Like that's a great way to buy in. And then you could, if you have that set, you could get the new 2x4 and 2x2 floors and narrow walls, whatever, and then add to the functionality of that set that you already have in a neat way, or get one in the new specialty wall packs to give yourself some more options. Like it all interchanges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you please make the side edges of new fieldstone floors mesh better with the walls and corner posts, matching stone sizes?
Well, if you mean by mesh, shoving a bunch of holes in them, yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah. How about removing a bunch of the stones on the side?
Right. Well, you making some of the stones a little more in the same shape as the fieldstone going up.
That's something like again, this is a thing that we are actively developing and working on.
It's a good suggestion.
Yeah. So a lot of this is still.
Yeah. Who is that?
Gen 1 Wake.
Ah, thank you, Omar. Yeah.
Market old floors has no biscuit holes. Yeah, that's another thing we'll have to talk about is like, okay, so how are we going to, like definitely I think the new floors are all going to be in like their own pack, so it's very clear. These are the ones that'll have the holes.
These are biscuits.
The other ones are not.
Yeah.
And trying to make sure that we want to stop people from like buying something and expecting it to be something else as much as possible.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's see. I imagine there will be a lot of new backers that will see this in Wild Escarpments. Will those be in stock in January?
Probably not in
The
January.
first Wildlands restock is focusing on forest and swamp basics.
I think.
And then I think the mountains is the next wave. It depends on how quickly the factory can turn that stuff around.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's once again, you got to be in. It encourages you to be in on the Kickstarter because it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for us to get stuff back in stock in a timely manner. So like the Kickstarter is the time to get it.
But rest assured, we want to have them in, and it's just like cool. Do we have the like with our cash flow and our timeline? When can we get these things back in? The goal is definitely to get all the Wildlands bread and butter back.
We have, and you know, here's the thing: is I think we're going to be doing a bunch of builds that people are going to go, oh man, I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that. You know, we'll do some stuff. We'll do some stuff with castles. We'll do some stuff with dungeons. We'll do some stuff with, I don't know, hellscape. Who knows where? Like, we're just going to be doing fun compatibility builds across the boards, and inevitably we'll be using stuff that's out of stock, and people will go, oh man, I want that, I want that, I want that.
It's hard to justify the Kickstarter as new folks because seeing folks use it inspires others and it creates needs.
Wait, what?
I don't think I understand you. It's hard to justify the Kickstarter as new folks because seeing folks use it inspires others and it creates need.
Like they need to see it.
Oh, saying that it's easier. Well, that's like the thing that we've talked about before is like the way that it's so much easier to convince people that the stuff is worth it when they can touch it and use it.
Yes.
Versus when they see it online.
Yep.
When you're just looking at pictures online, it's harder to tell the difference between our stuff and 3D printed stuff or WizKids and stuff like that.
Yep.
When you can see it up close and when you can feel it, when you can see how it works better, it's much easier. So really, like, most of my job is how do I get that feeling of actually tangibly touching and feeling it? How do I get that across to people who are on the other side of a screen?
Even just a build like this build looks cooler in person than it does on camera. Like
yes.
it's just a neat, and this looks cool on camera. And it's even cooler in here.
People lost their minds as soon as it came out.
Yeah. But it's like the same, have the same problem all the time. Even just doing like playing D&D at home, streaming for my brother and his kids, like the builds are so much cooler on my end than they're receiving. Grayson is like, oh, this is outrageous. And they're like, okay, it's pretty cool. But I'm like, you don't know, like it's 6 feet of madness. You don't understand. Like it just doesn't, being in person with the physical stuff, I don't know.
Also, you understand the geometry of Dwarven Forge better after using it? Yes.
Yes.
There's a learning curve to our stuff.
Yep.
And we're stuff like the getting started videos and stuff like that, like we're trying to address that as much as possible. But man, there's a lot, especially when you take into account our like 25-year backlog of stuff.
It's also, it's similar to Lego or something, right? Where you just like, if you play with it for an hour, you're like, oh, okay, totally. You can then look at Lego pieces and know how they're going to go together. If you just had never actually touched Legos and someone showed you a bunch of break, it wouldn't be as intuitive of how they go together and what that does and sort of what the techniques are. Same thing here.
People are pointing out that having like minis in there for scale like really helps a lot with seeing the value as well. A lot of people don't realize this stuff is as big as it is.
And it's hard to know until you get it, right? Weren't people saying that about reliquaries too?
Yes.
And those had dice in them that are clearly
and
a
we
size.
We literally had like graphics that were like, this is how tall this thing is, and had like a chart, and people were still like surprised at how tall they were. And it's just, it's really hard. It's just hard to like really get it over a computer versus in person. Just how it is.
Even Surfer Scale doesn't. It's still not the same. Like your brain still doesn't.
It's still not the
process
same as
as
genuinely holding it and having it in the room with you.
Well, and funny enough, it's the opposite problem with the sculpting. So like, Michelle will post up a picture of a thing she's working on that has this like meticulous, tiny detail, whatever, and the picture is big, right? So it's like it's so much bigger than the thing, and it looks pretty good. But you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. Then you get the thing in person, and you're like, whoa, wait a second, that's this big, like, whoa, it just doesn't like. Seeing it blown up in a picture doesn't as when it's like this little tiny, like, wait, see, that's in there. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's wild. It happens to everything, all the dev pictures. Like, you see the thing and it looks pretty good in a picture, and then you get the actual sculpt. You're like, wow.
And then you see it with paint on it, and and then the details like actually really come out.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah. It is true. So what else?
I feel like there's a decent amount of castle crossover potential. Yeah.
Tons.
That's the funniest thing I was talking about is like, we're doing that like Fieldstone City and castle compatibility video because we were like, if we're doing getting started with cities, we really should address this. And then now we're revamping Fieldstone to go with it. And it's like, we can now do a bunch of sample photos showing how you can combine the biscuit system and castles and stuff like that. And it's like, it's extremely fortunate that we wound up doing that video.
And there's going to be a need to do a whole second one because there's going to be so much cool. Yeah. Especially if we put biscuit holes in the sides of the Fieldstone floors, now you can do scaffolding on the side of square towers, castle towers.
You can have wooden walkways between. It's going to
be really wild. Like you'll be able to do. There's going to be some neat stuff. That can be done. I can't wait. Even just interior walls in a castle. Or you build a great hall with the wood, right? Big double high, great hall, and then the towers around and the thing. I don't know. My brain hasn't even started thinking about all the possibilities. I'm just like what can we build with the things that we have, and then much less with a full catalog. Yeah. It should be fun.
Because builds are going to have some wooden buildings lining the outer walls. Yeah. There's so much. Genuinely, like, there's so much you can do with this that it's hard to even get it across in one stream. I'll think of things where I'm like, oh, we should have mentioned this. And that's what the campaign's for.
Exactly. I would say that's why we have a campaign, and we'll be streaming very regularly. And you guys will be asking us. Folks will be saying, hey, can we see this? Or what about that? And you're like, oh, yeah, we should show that, huh? Or, oh, can we build that? Can we do that? Yeah, let's try it.
Question, Biscuit of Fieldstone in Lowtown or Hightown? Lowtown. And then we basically figured that of the things, stone buildings feel like they belong in Lowtown more, and Tudor feels more like Hightown. So We're gonna do
Fieldstone
those.
is a common vernacular, right? You just get, right? You're just getting stones out of the field and building them up, like not as much care as like Tudor is very artful and fancy and over, style is a part of it.
Yeah. Should we talk about the Beyond part of today's topic? Oh, we did earlier. If you weren't here for that, basically, so again, because I know we had some people like roll in through. There've been people like coming in the whole time who are like, wait, they're doing this now, like who have come in like 10 minutes ago. Basically, very quick recap. We realized that we had too many ideas for Cities Untold to guarantee that we could do it all in one go without things potentially going very wrong.
And delivering way late.
So we're basically splitting it kind of in half. It's really more like 2/3 in Lowtown and 1/3 in Hightown right now. But we'll get more stuff in Hightown probably.
Don't worry.
We'll find a way to bloat that sculpt count too and split it into another half.
It's already bloating in my brain.
But so basically, January 15th, the launch date we gave before for Cities Untold is now going to be Cities Untold Lowtown, and we'll feature the wood, roofs, scaffolding, stuff
dressing,
like that.
sculpted
Dressing.
ground.
Yeah. And then from there,
minis. Basically everything but the ashlar and the courtyard walls.
as well as now a larger revamp and reconfiguration of our old Fieldstone CBS pieces to be more compatible with the new stuff, as well as to free up some sculpts from the original CBS that were really hard to get.
And a couple new showpieces. Like we'll have a couple of flashier things for Lowtown, and it's going to be great. It's going to be Lowtown is going to be truly going to come into its own, and there'll be the seawalls there and suburban elevation and train trays, so you can do the shoreline and dockside and build out the thing. There'll be a bunch of really cool districts, dangerous areas where we can get into lots of trouble.
Yeah, and so then that Kickstarter starts January 15th, runs 2 or 3 weeks.
20 days, 18
20
days, something like that.
Something like that. A little shorter than usual. And then Pledge Manager goes like March, April.
Yep.
And then that closes, and then probably June sci-fi?
The idea is we start sculpting sci-fi in January while this is running and have that done by the time Pledge Manager is closed. Go into production or prep on the Kickstarter. It's not a ton of pieces, so we should be able to launch that hopefully June, July, something like that.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
we're also developing a board game with Stephen Baker.
Designer of Hero Quest and HeroScape and Village of Fear, and I don't know, he's got to go look him up on Board Game Geek. He's got like 50 board games he's designed.
And so then we were planning for.
Oh, he did. You know what he did? The new D&D board game. Was it Warriors of Kryn or whatever? There's a mass scale war simulator for the new Dragonlance, the 5e Dragonlance book. There's a sister game that comes with it. So he designed that with I think it was with Rob Davio, who did Pandemic. Or whatever. So like
Woof.
So I know. Woof.
Did you know
How's
it was
that guy
designed?
Work?
He designed it.
He engineered
then,
this whole thing. It's a legacy game we're playing. Wait,
Ugh.
so we got a game with him that hopefully will launch after that.
So Cities Untold Lowtown in January. Sci-fi campaign in June we're looking at. And then that board game being developed, depending on how that goes, if we're on target with it, that'll probably launch end of summer, early fall. Yeah, August.
October is probably more realistic. I bet Essen is more
and
realistic.
then, so if that's on track, we do that board game Kickstarter. And then after that, we do Cities Untold Hightown. If the board game
that's probably next January 2024.
Yeah, if the board game needs more time, then we'll swap those places and we'll do Cities Untold Hightown after Sci-Fi and then do the board game.
Yeah.
So we'll know about that better in a couple months.
Or, I mean, maybe something, I highly doubt it, but maybe like somehow the board game just blasts through all expectations and that's ready to go. Yes. And we do that in June and then Sci-Fi right after. And then Hightown, I don't know, we'll see. I would put my money on Sci-Fi goes out next because we're ready to rock and there's a long way to go in the board game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It could all change.
So we don't have a definite date for Hightown. It depends on. It basically is a little wiggly depending on how the board game development goes.
Yeah.
But it should hopefully be like around a year after Lowtown at the most. Yeah. I would say. Yeah.
I'd say it'd probably be the following January is what we have penciled in, but we'll see. But I mean, because the good news is we have a big chunk of it already done. Like we have a whole bunch of those sculpted, like everything from the big octagonal tower and beautiful balcony and those ashlar walls and double high walls and stained glass bits, and like there is a lot of stuff already done, already cast, already painted. Like we have a bunch of that stuff ready. So then we dive in, do some streets, do some more dressing, do a couple more showpieces, get a thing, and boom, that thing's ready to rock. Meanwhile, we're already working on the next thing, which is Beyond.
Yeah, Beyond.
Although I've said
the
it
nice
before.
thing is so basically next year we basically have we basically know what our next 4 projects are going to be now.
Well, then I will guess the one after Hightown. Well, it's one of 3 things. Either sci-fi is a really big success, and we do a full-on sci-fi 150 pieces or something, big sci-fi Kickstarter. Or the board game is a massive success and we roll right into the sequel, although I imagine that would probably take longer to develop, so it probably doesn't happen next, who knows, whatever. Or we just go in, and the thing we've been toying with is going back underground. And catacombs, I know people have been asking about catacombs forever, right? We go in catacombs, maybe we do mines, sewers, back into the sewers, finish out maybe crystal caverns, come back in a different way, finish out some dungeon pieces we didn't do, whatever else we find underground. But go back underground sort of with catacombs as the kind of the headliner, and see what do we build down there, what do we find.
But that's a ways off. We've got some time. The nice thing is...
I mean, that's 5 Kickstarters, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
the nice thing is, like, sitting here, like, as a company,
Yeah.
this means that we've got... Especially since so much of the development for Hightown is done, we've got a lot of projects that will not take a terrible amount of sculpting left to the rest of it, because both sci-fi and the board game will be lower sculpt counts. And we can be developing our next big project after that, and we'll hopefully get we'll be able to like have a more stable, evenly paced release schedule with a lot of things, and we can also then be putting more time into working on the store, getting those dungeon reconfigs done.
Oh, I can't wait to get those out. Get that lava mat, 24 by 24 inch lava mat.
Yeah.
That someone suggested.
People are asking for deserts.
Sand, finally sculpt the sand.
Also, if
modular ships confirmed.
Also, if this stuff works and it really does seem like cool, like doing like these 30-piece Kickstarters or whatever is like good, then doing like small expansions like that and looking at multiple of those throughout the year can be a
really
thing that
fun.
we do, because it's so much more manageable for us.
Totally. And manageable for backers. And, yeah.
So basically, it's
We'll see.
2023 is going to be a massive year for us in terms of, it'll be a big transition year into, can we make ourselves like a much more stable company? I think is the
And we want to be growing and learning and developing, right? We don't want to just be hitting the same note over and over again, right? So we want to be trying some different things, both creatively, commercially, whatever. Like, try different platforms, try a board game, try whatever, see what happens, poke around, try different ways to do it, mess around with STLs. I don't know, like see where all that goes. And just have fun discoveries as a team. Like, we're just learning what can we do? What do you guys get excited about, right? This is what Chris and I were talking about before this, but one of the things that's really cool about what we do is we get to make things people get really excited about, right? We want to be, I don't want to say we're chasing it, but we're, fundamentally we want to be making things that people want to put on their table and be like, oh, that's the thing, I need to tell my story and do this thing, I'm going to make these memorable things. Like, we want to be giving you the tools for excitement. And so some of it is chasing that, looking for different ways. What are other ways that we can do that, and where will it lead? And we have such a smart, I think overly creative, innovative team that it's like, we don't really know where it's all going to go.
Hence the sculpt count ballooning.
Hence everything, right? Just everything.
We
the,
took this
the
basic
video
concept,
count and the script count and this all this stuff. It's sort of each level. It's like, how can we ratchet that up a notch? Is there another cooler way to do that? Is there a more fun way to do it. Is there a bigger way to do that? Is there another
That's
thing
true.
like?
I guess that happens with videos. It's
At
like,
every-
yeah,
at
we're
every
doing
turn.
a getting started with cities. We really should add a half-hour
Letitia's building like
hassle
a
compatibility video.
47-page website, and
Yeah.
like we're like at every turn, it's like, well, we need a logo for that too, and we got to make a thing of that. Everybody wants to keep adding cool stuff to what we're doing. So that's also part of the fun is we're gonna explore all these things. We don't know where they're all gonna lead, and everybody's gonna just keep adding neat stuff to it, and
Yeah.
it'll be fun. I'm so pumped across the board for all of these projects. We have so much cool stuff coming up.
That's the thing. Like, I felt like this year was like so much development and work and doing so much. They sculpted so many things. We were working on this board game.
Well, basically, we
were
sort of
developing
secretly
sci-fi.
did 2 Kickstarters, right? We didn't realize we were sculpting Cities Untold, Lowtown, and Hightown basically at the same time without realizing there were 2 Kickstarters, plus developing board game, plus developing sci-fi, plus Tyler got his full 3D workflow to engineer all these peg holes and all the stuff in the pieces and scan out the stuff, and we're like the sort of the amount of stuff that got developed in this last year is pretty astronomical.
Yeah.
Right, across the board. So, Letitia learned how to build websites. We're we're just, I don't know. There's
also
just a lot going on.
It's also intensely reassuring. I was pretty sure going, and that's what I told you last week too. Like after the last streams, I was like, I'm pretty sure nobody's going to be upset if we do this. And it's like generally we've only been seeing support for this.
Here's the thing, we're doing this.
Yes.
So
yeah,
you can choose to get upset if you want, but these are the realities of a small business, and we have to chase what we think is going to be the best. We want to be able to deliver a good product in a timely manner. Sorry, Wildlands. It was good. It wasn't timely.
this was going to be worse. This was going to be worse than Wildlands in that respect if we didn't cut it down.
Yeah. So we're forced to make the choices that we think are going to be best, and the choices that are going to let us continue to do this. Right. We are seeking longevity and stability. So it's like what's going to keep us doing this so we can keep putting out cool projects for you. And some people will get upset, and some people will be disappointed, and some people won't like it. But at the end of the day, we have to keep trying to keep this thing, this crazy, I don't know if it's a ship afloat. It's like a spelljammer flying through space, but we don't have a spelljam helm, right? We're just making it up as we go along, and I don't know, somehow we've catapulted into space, and we're just keep coasting along through the thing.
I feel like the reason you don't like Spelljammer is because you don't understand Spelljammer.
Well, there's an axis in the ship, right? So the gravity's up and then gravity's down. So you got to go upside down gravity, and then the space monkeys come out, and then evil clowns, and there's a murder comet, and then I don't know. It's just yeah.
That's fair.
It's what. But anyway, we're not Spelljammer. We're I don't know what we are, but we're last. But we should wrap it up because it's 9:00, and I think we've talked a lot about the future. We answered a lot of questions, and we got a bunch to figure out. I don't know what we're doing. What are we doing next week?
We might be able to really maybe we just start doing our city streams next week. We're just like, hey, let's look at roofs and scaffolding.
Yes,
because we should have roofs and scaffolding completely functioning.
We'll be building stuff for the next day.
True, because we're shooting roofs and scaffolding on Thursday. So Wednesday night we could be like, look at this.
Here's
stuff.
what we're doing.
Yeah, maybe that's what we start doing.
Multi-level building, roofs. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably the reality. Is it's really all cities all the time.
We are getting into. I mean, not only are we just under 2 weeks or just over 2 weeks or 2 months away from the Kickstarter launch, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas in that time, so we've got holidays going on.
Yeah.
And so we really are.
So it really
is
2 months. By the time you take away the holidays, we had 2 months.
We're genuinely, we're looking at 6 or 7 more on the Anvils probably.
Yeah, so
if we actually stream every week that we're available.
All right, so it's all cities all the time.
That's very likely.
That'd be fun. And what about tomorrow on Hobby Hang? What is hanging?
Oh, we'd be painting
on the hobby. All right.
Last week he did a Free Blades Wizard, and it came out really nice.
Wizard.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
do you know which paint scheme we're getting for the roofs? Oh, we're doing both, right? We're going to do both in both Kickstarters.
Green and gray.
The nice thing about that is because there's some things like the roofs, which we need to do in both Lowtown and Hightown, that means that we get to reprint them in the Hightown Kickstarter without having to make the molds for them, which also just is good for us.
Well, and we have some cool specific Hightown pieces for the roofs.
We were talking about like the rake soffits and stuff. Like there are low town like rake soffits, there are high town rake soffits.
Ridges and things. Like we'll have some decorative bits for the roofs. So if you could just get the roofs now, and then you can get the new packs in high town. If you missed low town, you can get in high town and get all the roofs and whatever. But also once again, that could change.
Subject to change.
Everything's subject to change.
But the way it's looking right now, like maybe when we talk to the factory about this, they do see something else that's a concern, and we have to like pivot again. But I think this is going to address most of their problems.
Well, and you know, one of the multitude of amazing things about the team, one of them is we've got problem solvers. Like as soon as we were talking about this pivot, like everybody's like, well, we could do this, this, and this, and it would solve that, and here's the challenge on that, and it was just like, everybody just always goes into problem solving mode of like, okay, well, here are the challenges we see, here's some solutions, don't know how to solve that one, here's the other thing, here are the opportunities from that, and it was just like, you know, at every turn, that's what everybody does.
Did that dome roof ever get sculpted? Or was it?
No, there's a mock in foam.
Okay.
A couple of mocks in foam.
People are demanding to see the dome, and I'm like, I don't know that it was actually sculpted yet.
There's some foam mocks. I think they're. Do we want to show the geometry? Would that be nice? Is Rabbit still awake? If he's here, we'll do it.
These streams are an hour earlier in the EU now. Europe.
If Rabbit's here, I'll go find the mocks.
Rabbit, are you here?
Went to bed.
Rabbit, roll call.
Oh no! All right, so
I don't see him.
We'll wrap it up.
He's here.
Oh
no!
Okay.
Oh no!
Fine.
Oh no! We have to show.
All right.
Oh no!
Man.
Oh man! Really need to discuss a factory in the States. I'm sure we can get this thing started. It's hard, man. It would be a lot. It would. Just with the nature of steel molds and everything, it is it is really hard to actually state the size of a move like that for us with the way that our business works.
Oh wow.
Let's see. Only earlier this week. Think goes back to normal next week. Oh wait. Did they reset daylight savings time for 1 day? Can't even begin to say something. Oh wait, Windows are. Wait, we already fell back, right? It's November. We already did our change.
Because
for fall, right?
It's only fair, you know.
This Sunday? Wait, we change on Sunday? Oh man.
Oh,
okay, so this is the one good stream a year for Europe.
One.
Before we mess it up again.
Time. What a thing. All right, so we got some funny things. I found this too while I was looking. I forgot about these. This was at one point we were thinking about doing like a
ruined roads,
like a raised sort of Roman style road that could sit scatter style on top with a couple of bits, and then it'd peter out. But
people are so mad at us right now.
Yeah,
for not making this.
Yeah, that was the thing that was going to happen while it didn't. Hey, look at this. Michelle made this. Remember that?
Oh, hey. Yeah, that's the plinth. The
dais? What is
Archaean dais, yes.
Yeah.
Archaean dais.
Look at that thing. Curved floors. Cool ruined floors.
We have conceptualized more cool pieces than we've made.
Here, that got made. Oh boy. Huh. That one, this is the Rabbit special.
Oh,
this is like a 8-inch diameter curved with magnetic plate in there. That would have been fun. I think Michelle even started the armatures on these, but yeah, this didn't. This was and then this was. I see the floors. Yeah, I forgot the floors would work.
Curved floors
under them. So there was the floors were gonna do a thing like this, so you could do like it was where are they? I don't know. We got them. What was the curve? There was like an inside and outside curve. It was this sort of a gag. Wow, it's all coming back to me now. This was a long time ago. Oh, look at these cute little stairs. I forgot about these little guys. Look at those little cute little stairs in foam. I don't have the other side of foam. There's something like that, so you could do a
wow.
Do the curves top and bottom. Oh, here it was. Yeah. And then this would fit these, and this would. I don't know where the other curves are.
Yeah, we had a whole plan to be able to make like whole ruined buildings.
This was the magnetic ruins. Well, it was like a solid one. Fun bits. But then here was the.
It was a whole biome that got cut.
Yeah. Oof.
Like it was. Well,
Look at that
downsized,
guy.
I should say, just
Like
majorly
some
downsized. Right, we had ruins,
Stair nonsense.
or we had stairs.
Like, yeah, there was some. There's some fun stuff. These are wild mocks. I forgot about this. Was some foam craft. There's some challenges here. And then there's going the other direction. I was trying to figure out all sorts of stuff. Trying to figure out how many arches do you do you end on a half arch? Do you do on a flat thing? Whatever. Like, yeah, it was good times. I don't know what the heck this was. Oh wow, this is definitely a Spelljammer.
That's a
helm.
hitching post.
This
for you.
was like a.
Nice little throne. Does that fit perfectly on top of those little round
Yeah, it
steps
fits
up?
in this thing.
Yeah.
It's like the, yeah, you could do that, like some gag. Yeah. This is fun. This is going to be a whole episode. Like, dig through the bag of mocks.
Remember when we went through like your castle's notebook?
This is a fun, yeah, with the flaming cow.
Yeah.
The double-sided floor, so the idea was this thing, you could do that to break it that way.
We had runes
It
ledges.
fits like this, and flats out there, or then you could go like this. So it was like you could do a whole kind of interesting ruins thing with the two pieces, and they're double-sided. Right? So it was like thing. Yeah. You know what's neat? Check this out. The precursor pre-biscuits. This was paired pegs. Hold everything together because I wanted to do second stories and like hook stuff together. So this is paired pegs, but now the paired pegs are compatible with the biscuits anyway. So this would be, we would just go biscuits on this. But it was the biscuits system was coming back in 2020. We didn't really know it, but it was there.
We could just launch this expansion on GameFound, honestly.
Yeah.
And
All right, and then here was they're not so perfectly pretty. It's better with the, hang on, let me see if I find an actual curve, because it'll make more sense on the thing. Hang on. Let me get the thing. Wow, this is fun. I forgot.
Runes expansion would be amazing. Runes are kind of sci-fi if you think about it. Yeah, they definitely got that vibe.
Wait a
Kind of
second.
just war game friendly too. Bye bye Ashler. Yeah, we could do like a scatter. Just add like a couple more things to round it out, and then maybe we also throw in. We could use it to do like some runes expansions of other stuff, and just have that as like a pack for existing people.
This is like the credit sequence. Like we were gonna end the show, and then like the credits run, and then after there's this extra bonus scene you didn't know was gonna be there.
Samuel L. Jackson comes out.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey,
ruins.
I'm gonna show you some cut pieces."
Yeah. So these floors were so you could do this sort of a thing or this sort of a thing. Right, and then you could do 4 of them and whatever. And then this one would go on there, and you could do that, and you could do these double layer things and whatever. Like there was all sorts of fun nonsense. But so here was the idea with the roofs. So it was 2 pieces. So it was this thing. It was open on one side, see on the other thing, and this thing.
So you could have a middle section, or you could just use 2 of the end sections.
So you would do, yeah. So you could do, you could do this, right? You wanted to do like the gazebo thing. You could take 4 of those and put, I don't know, 2, right? You'd put 2 of these on to make a thing that's be the cool stained glass. So it would have like an armature and then have stained glass in between. Boom. Or you could do.
Add the straights in and then use those middle sections to extend it.
Yeah, you could do like a middle thing in there, right? And then have these. What is it? Oh, that one got a little crushed, but that's ruined. So you could do
we get the point.
You could do a thing like that, or you could do just 2 of them like that, like have a thing like this. You could also flip them around, so it could be like solid, or you could put them into that, so it could be like open with a center thing or whatever. But it was, the idea doing like the fancy high-end elven greenhouses that were just beautiful stained glass, whatever. And then we'd have shattered versions, and you could just be be wild.
How did all this get cut? Something kind of similar to why we split the Kickstarter is where our sculpt count was way too high, and we had to reduce it for the. It was either we had to cut something of everything, or we could downsize
like
ruins
cut
and
swamps
keep.
Or
Something had to get
ruins
cut. We decided to put most of it into ruins so that we could keep the wilderness as robust as possible.
Fit on there, and then it was fun. Fun bits. But and then there were pillars.
Must be added to this Kickstarter. We couldn't add it to this Kickstarter.
That was originally. We were like, oh, perfect. We'll do ruins in cities, and then that didn't make it either. But
maybe we could do this if sci-fi goes well. Maybe we could do a game found, a smaller campaign just for this expansion.
It's nice to remember this stuff exists. I'd forgotten about it. So someone brought it up. So good. So that was a little bucket. That was for Rabbit staying up late.
How many pieces wound up being cut altogether?
I don't know, a bunch.
It was a lot, yeah.
Yeah. We had a JST thing that we cut that was working.
Tyler's saying around 30.
Yeah, there was a teardrop LED JST base. So there was it was a teardrop thing that had the LED, had the battery and the switch. So you put it in, and then it had a JST connector, and you could put a thing on top. And then it ended up dying, and it has a couple of tops. It had a JST fire pit and a weird eye. What was it? A gloom gorger. Mm-hmm. It had, I don't know. There's a lot of things.
So what you're saying is we have to buy sci-fi even if we only play fantasy in order to unlock future ruins. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, those are the breaks.
It's the rule. It's the rule. Well, I mean, didn't you ever read the Expedition of the Barrier Peaks?
Yeah.
Just saying, just buy one set, just in case you run Barrier Peaks.
If we position it with like a nice thematic mat, and we could sell it as like a wargaming pack, because like those ruins just make really good wargame battlefields. Oh,
you're talking about ruins now.
We could reprint the arches that we'd already done as well as part of them to.
Well, we also have the unruined ruins.
Yeah.
That exist. I don't know. Well, we already have like 6 things queued up, so we'll get there.
Hey, Dungeon Dudes are here.
Hey.
A couple of us are going to be at PAX Unplugged.
Kelly, Monty.
It's going to be smaller impact because we're going to be in the middle of crunch for Kickstarter. But me, Tyler, and Mace are going to PAX Unplugged.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So are we going to see you there? I'm assuming you're going.
And congrats on all your successes. Another big successful Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Big giant mini. It's exciting.
Yes, we're doing a panel on Saturday. Excellent.
Yes.
I have to do that.
All right, let's go for real.
Yeah,
I gotta drive home. I gotta go to sleep.
Oh man, Monty, there's so much news here that you'd be excited about, but it's late. I'll talk to you after
There's a stream you
this.
can go back in time.
I'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
I'll send you a message. Let's see.
Woo! All right, let's get out of here.
Yes.
Thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for all your comments. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for your passion. Thanks for your ideas. Thanks for being nice to each other. Just thank you. I can't wait. January 15th. It's gonna be wild.
Yes.
Space. Okay. I am so Spelljammer tonight. I don't know. I can't.
I'm feeling pretty Spelljammer.
I'm like 90% Spelljammer. You're rolling your eyes.
Oh God.
We gotta go. All right. Good night. Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye.